Hi friends, I'm Walker and welcome back to Olive Ave Nails, where we talk about vegan and cruelty-free nail polish. Today I have color comparisons for the Orly Retrowave collection. This is their summer 2020 collection. I've already done my live swatch and review for this collection, so if you're new to my channel, I usually do a live swatch and review where I just kind of talk about this collection by itself, the way it is, and then I do a color comparison video where I like to kind of dive in and look at each of the shades compared to other colors in my collection so that I can help you kind of decide whether or not these have a place in your collection. So we're gonna dive in and look at each of these 6 shades. All right, this one is Gotta Bounce, and I like this one compared to a couple Zoyas. At first it reminded me of Sailor, definitely a lot lighter than Sailor. And then I wanted to compare it to Natty because Natty is a little bit like dusty. Yep. Definitely not quite related to Natty. The last one that I thought about was Light Slacker Woman, and this one I think is going to be the closest. It's definitely got the right mix of like purple and blue, but I think it's maybe not going to be as dusty. It's a little bit hard to tell. So I'm excited to see these ones next to each other. The other polish in my collection that I thought of that I'm not going to swatch on the nails is Kale Polish 1435. This one I thought was very similar, but it's a little bit deeper and darker, and I'm just not going to swatch it because it's not available anymore. I don't think they're close enough that if you have 1435, you can't pick up Gotta Bounce, so I'm not going to include this one on the nails, but let's see what they look like. All right, here we go. We have Gotta Bounce right here in the middle. Definitely a lot lighter than Sailor. I thought they were similar, but they're not. And this one is Natty, and it makes Natty look almost like a little bit teal, right? Isn't that kind of cool? I definitely think that Woman is the closest, but I think Woman is a little bit darker, a little bit more purple, and a little bit less dusty. So they're not dupes for me. I think they are super, super close, so you may not need both, but I don't think that they're identical. All right, here is So Fly, and I really only have one that compares well to this one. This one is from Color Club. It's from the Whatever Forever collection, and it's called It's All in the Attitude. I don't think that these are super close. It's All in the Attitude is a lot lighter and whiter, and so I don't know that these are super close, but I will swatch them together. I have a couple other bright greens, like I have one from Sweet 11, but it's, you know, a lot more like yellow leaning. This is gonna be a lot closer to like Zoya's Tilda. So these are really the only neon greens that I have. There's another one from the Color Club collection that's kind of green, kind of yellow. It's called Anything But Basic, and so this one, again, not super close. A lot of people have asked me about Palette Polish Lime, which is discontinued from Palette Polish, but I actually do not have it, so I can't make that comparison, but I will show you these two really quickly. All right, so I turned my camera settings down a little bit to try to show the difference here. These are way closer than I thought they were going to be. I love when in a comparison video I like eat my words. I see them in the bottle and I'm like, oh, they're going to be so different, and then on the nails they're just not that different. Definitely the Color Club, which is on my middle and my pinky here, is a little bit lighter. There's more white in it. You know, it is supposed to be a neon pastel, so that makes sense. But the Color Club is just a little bit lighter and whiter, and the Orly is a little bit more neon. And I feel like, I mean, I know this shot is like not beautiful, but I think it does give you a pretty good depiction of the color. And even in my like regular room lighting, this is really what I'm seeing, is I'm seeing just that little bit of difference. I'm gonna turn my settings back up to what I was at before when you were seeing them in the bottle, and you'll just kind of see how it looks different. Okay, so this is a little bit brighter lights. This is way more washed out than what I'm seeing, and they look pretty much identical. So I had to kind of turn it down so that you could see the differences. But when I turn it down, that's like what my eye sees in the regular, in my regular lighting here. So I know neons are so hard to capture, but I hope that that gives you a sense of how these ones are different. Yeah, neither of them dry down matte. They both dry down like pretty glossy, which I really like for a neon. So there we go. All right, next up is Oh Snap, and this one I obviously had to compare to the very famous Orly's Glowstick. I think on first glance these ones look a little bit different. Glowstick is a little bit more of like that highlighter, kind of like greeny yellow, whereas Oh Snap looks a lot more just like yellow, like straight up yellow. Really the only other one that I have that I want to compare this to is Literally from Sweet 11. This one came out last summer. I did a swatch and review of this collection if you want to see it. I don't love the formula on this one. I like really wanted to love this polish, y'all, but I didn't. I like the other ones that I have from Sweet 11, but this one, the polish, the formula was not for me. But I do want to compare it because it was a pretty popular neon yellow last summer, at least, you know, on Instagram, in the Instagram scene. And then the other kind of yellowy one that I have, I also showed you for my green comparison a few minutes ago. This is anything but basic. It's like yellow and green, so I'm not actually gonna swatch it on here, but I just want to show it to you, just to show you kind of how yellow Oh Snap is. So I'm gonna show you these three swatched on the nail. All right, we're gonna start here, and I will probably turn the light down just so you can see, you know, how it looks in a couple different ways. But I am wearing 4 coats of Glowstick, 2 coats of Oh Snap, 3 coats of Literally Plus top coat. This one dries down, I would call it like a semi-matte. It's not glossy, but it's not like super matte. But these two, Glowstick and Oh Snap, both dry down glossy. So I don't have any top coat on those right now, but I do have top coat on Literally. And I don't think any of these are dupes. Literally has like more yellow in it and less white. Oh Snap is a little bit like lighter. It's not pastel by any means, but it's definitely not as like intensely pigmented as Literally is. And Glowstick definitely is a little bit more green. I'm also wearing 4 coats of it here. On the first coat, these looked pretty similar. On 4 coats, I never want to wear this polish again. And I think it looks a little bit different from Oh Snap. So if you have Glowstick, should you get Oh Snap? Honestly, it depends. I mean, if you want a neon yellow that is 2 coats, like, yes. Could I wear 3 coats of Oh Snap to get it totally opaque? Probably, but I'm happy with it in 2 coats, honestly. If you may never wear a neon yellow except for once in your life and you already have Glowstick, do you need Oh Snap? I don't know, probably not, up to you. I'm gonna turn my lights down just so you can see what they look like. It might help you see the differences a little bit, but this actually looks like pretty close in my viewfinder. All right, I feel like you are getting a little bit more of the kind of green in Glowstick when I turn the light down, and you can see maybe what I mean by Literally being a little bit more like of an intense yellow. Glowstick, you can also see I have some like patchiness up at the tip, even though it's 4 coats, so that's cool. All right, so those are comparisons of Oh Snap. Okay, next up is Hot Pursuit, and this is another one that I don't have anything that I think is perfect for it, but I do have one that people ask me about, and then I have a couple that I think will just help you situate it. The one that people ask me about is Scenic Route, and holy mama, this one is a bright polish. It is so bright. They are, you know, related, I guess, but they're not really dupes. And then the other one that I wanted to bring in is Sonja from Zoya. This is like a red corally polish. It's not going to be a dupe, but I just wanted to bring in one of those because I do think it looks, you know, somewhat similar in the bottle. And then I wanted to bring in Olive Polish Crake just for fun, just because, you know, I can, and I don't really have anything else similar to this one. I have a lot of corals from Zoya that are a lot lighter pink, a lot more orange, and then I have like these ones like Sonja, but I don't have anything else more similar to this one. So let's look at all 4 of these on the nails. All right, Blazing Sunset is like just blinding the camera. That is not what it looks like in real life, but you can tell that they're definitely not related. Sonja looks totally red. It's like you can't even tell there's any pink in it compared to Hot Pursuit. And Crake definitely looks a bit more like orange and I don't know, like melony or dusty. So none of these are quite dupes for Hot Pursuit. It's really hard to get these colors on camera, but I hope that this gives you a better sense of what Hot Pursuit looks like. Okay, I did turn it down a little bit just so that you could see a little bit more of what Blazing Sunset looks like. Oh my goodness, that's a stunning polish. I'm obsessed. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Okay, here's Orly Far Out, and this one is the kind of like sky blue, and I definitely have some blue creams that I think are close to this that I'm excited to compare it to. The one that a lot of people ask me about in my swatch and review is Zoya's Yummy, and I think Yummy looks a little bit more dull in the bottle. Not dull, like that's not a good way to describe it, but not just quite as like bright and sky blue. I do wonder if they might look closer on the nails, just because, you know, sometimes things dry down like darker or lighter than they are in the bottle. And then the other one I'm going to compare it to is Zoya's Dory, which is very close to Yummy, but in my mind just a couple hairs darker. So I think these are the closest ones that I have to Far Out. There might be other, you know, similar ones in other brands, but in my collection, Yummy and Dory are the two that are the closest. So let's look at those on the nails. All right, here we are. So obviously Yummy and Dory are both a lot deeper than Far Out. I just tried to look after I swatched these on the nails. I tried to look in my collection again to say, like, do I just have another blue that is closer to these that I'm just ignoring or forgetting? I really don't think so. This one is pretty cool. It's very bright. It's not neon, you know, like some of the others in this collection, but it is just really, really fun. So yeah, I hope that that's a helpful comparison. Okay, the last one in this collection is Psyche, and it's this really pretty kind of berry-y color, and it's a very bright berry, but I do think that I have some that I'm curious to compare it to, even if they're not going to be perfect dupes. The first one that I pulled is Zoya's Ciara, and then I also pulled Margot, which is a little bit deeper, but I think will give us a good kind of comparison point. And I pulled Donnie, which I think is going to be a little bit too much purple. We'll see. I don't know that I have anything that's identical to this, but hopefully these will give you a good sense of just kind of where Psyche falls. It is brighter than I expected, so I think it does kind of work for a summer collection because it's got that brightness in it. So let's look at these on the nails. All right, so are any of these perfect? No, not really. I would say Ciara is definitely the closest. It's got like the right balance of red and pink and purple, but it's a little bit darker, and Psyche maybe is like a little dusty. I don't know. I do feel like none of these are perfect, but you know, they are similar. They're also making me really excited for fall. I am very excited. If you want to see more comparisons about these Zoyas, I have done comparisons of them on my channel, so I'll link them up above in the cards over here. Just click the little I, or you can also just search their names on my channel, and any videos that I've done that they're in will show up. So that's another way to find them. But I don't think I have an exact dupe for Psyche, but you know, hopefully this helps you figure out if it might be close to something in your collection. All right, so I think these three shades over here were the most unique in my collection. I definitely think that this one is my favorite. I thought it was my favorite when I swatched the collection, or one of my favorites, and it still really is. I think that the two blues are just really nice. I like blues a lot. Oh Snap is really fun, and if you're looking for a good neon yellow, I think this has the best formula of any neon yellow I've ever tried. So if you are looking for a good neon yellow with a good formula, you're gonna be really happy with this one. Is it gonna be super unique from others in your collection? I don't know. I honestly can't tell you that, but it does have a really good formula, the best formula of any of the yellows in my collection. So hopefully that's helpful. All right, thanks so much for joining. Can't wait to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.